Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.
It's Elmhurst, our kind of town. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Calderwood, coming to you from R.A. Faginal Hall on the campus of Elmhurst College. Today it's CCIW women's basketball action as the Blue Jays from Elmhurst College prepare to meet the Thunder of Wheaton College. Today rounds out the first go-round through the CCIW. Elmhurst thus far finds themselves sitting at 3-3 in conference play, and the Blue Jays are 9-8 overall. They are right in the middle of a giant race for the CCIW tournament, of which the top 4 teams will qualify. Wheaton is right at the top of the standings right now, coming off of a loss to the CCIW leader Carthage. The Thunder sit 2 games out of first place in the CCIW, but are a very similar team in a lot of ways to this Elmhurst College squad, and you'll have the chance to see that firsthand here in just a few moments. Tip-off between Elmhurst and Wheaton right now.
Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Thunder of Wheaton College. 5'6" senior number 11, Jen Lee. 5'9" senior number 14, Brooke Olson. 5'10" senior number 25, Brianna Bolin. 6-foot-tall freshman number 30, Hannah Considine. And 6'1" junior number 45, Maris Hovey. The Thunder are coached by Kent Madsen and enter tonight's game with an overall record of 13-3. Starting lineup for your Elmhurst College Blue Jays. 6'1" sophomore, 00, Fiona McMahon. 5'9" junior, number 3, Devin Vaughn. 5'10" sophomore, number 11, Tess Yothurst. 5'6" junior number 22, Karen Sinek. 5'6" freshman number 30, Courtney Spencer. The Blue Jays are coached by Stephanie Carrillo, assisted by Todd Sherman, Scott Davis, and Natasha Williams. Elmhurst enters tonight's contest with an overall record of 9-8. The colleges and universities of the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin believe that good sportsmanship is an integral component of intercollegiate competition. The College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin wholeheartedly embraces the NCAA position that in order for good sportsmanship.
Elmhurst and Wheaton ready to tip off in this women's basketball showdown. Wheaton 13-3, 4-2 in the CCIW. Wheaton presently tied with Illinois Wesleyan for second place. Carthage is unblemished at 6-0. Then it's North Park and Elmhurst tied at 3-3. North Central and Augustana both 2-4, while Milliken is winless at 0-5. So a lot still to be decided in the CCIW as we officially wrap up the first go-round through the conference. Fiona McMahon is in the center circle, ready to open action here today, and the tip is in the air. It's controlled by Maris Hovey, but it looks like they will call somebody was moving early, and therefore Elmhurst will have the basketball to start. Sky blue unis for Elmhurst. Blue Jays 9-8, 3-3 in the CCIW. Elmhurst halted a two-game slide in the conference with a victory over Augustana on Saturday evening. Final there was 69-61. Out comes a towel towards the center spot, wiping up the condensation. Good look at the officiating crew here, busy early. We really officially haven't even tipped off yet. Wheaton, a very solid fundamental team led by head coach Kent Madsen. Do not make a lot of mistakes, are very fluid offensively and defensively. Elmhurst inbounds the basketball, we're underway. Tess Godhart throws it away. Karen Sinnett falls to the floor, ball is still loose, tracking is Lee, and it's a backcourt violation. Asked Elmhurst head coach Tethny Carrillo earlier today about her thoughts on the squad through the first venture in CCIW play, and she said simply, turn the ball over too much and need to become a little bit more cohesive as a unit. In fact, Elmhurst turnover-wise, 7th in the CCIW in turnover margin. Compare that to Wheaton, who's, as I mentioned, at the top of the CCIW standings right now. They are 3rd. Wheaton is in the orange unis. Thunder very patient on offense as Jen Lee starts to move, picks up the dribble, and spots Maris Hovey. Hovey directing traffic with a shot clock down to 10, and Devin Vaughn collides with Brooke Olson. Wheaton started off the CCIW season very strong, but had a disappointing road loss at Augustana. Thunder came all the way back from a huge first half deficit, only to lose in that contest. Long three from Biana Bolden off target. And Elmhurst will make it one and done. Have to keep your eye on the rebound battle for this one. Likely the big key. Both of these squads very strong on the glass. Godhart lobbing for Fiona McMahon, a little bit too strong underneath. Maris Hovey rips away the rebound. Wheaton leads the CCIW in rebound margin. A friendly roll in transition for Hannah Considine. Elmhurst is going to have some matchup problems with Wheaton today because both Hannah Considine, who scored the bucket, and Maris Hovey, post players at over 6 foot tall, are in the game. It's Hovey out on Fiona McMahon at the top of the key. McMahon has it blocked by Hovey. Tracking down the rebound is Olson. Compare that Tess Godhart. Godhart at 5'10", more of a three or a swing player, draws the assignment of Considine and her 6 foot tall frame. Wheaton holding that 2-0 advantage on the scoreboard. Courtney Spencer picks up the dribble. Shot clock is half gone. Karen Sinnett around a screen, dribbles in, hits the long two. Evening the contest up, 2 minutes into the affair. It's the 70th meeting between Elmhurst and Wheaton in women's basketball. Wheaton holds a 56-13 lead in the series. But Elmhurst has been able to win 4 of the last 6. Jen Lee, a very strong three-point shooter, misses her first attempt today, but it's an offensive rebound for the Thunder, who reset. Issues for Brooke Olson. Flips it for Hovey into the lane, and Hovey's J is short. Fiona McMahon is there with the board. Discussing rebounding, Fiona McMahon, 21 rebounds in that win over Augustana on Saturday. Put that in perspective, it was the second highest rebound total in a CCIW contest ever. 21 rebounds matched the 5th highest single game performance in Elmhurst history. Here's McMahon, again stood up underneath by Hovey. Ball is free. And arrow is with Wheaton. Stephanie Mitchell in for the Blue Jays. Will try quickly to put some extra help in the post. Let's get a look at Karen Sinette's jumper. Waited for the play to develop, and then so good at that mid-range shot. All even at 2 apiece, 3 minutes into the contest. Talking about Fiona McMahon, the last Elmhurst player to reel in 20 boards in a contest. Deb Hughes in 1996. Foul on the rebound off the Considine miss. Considine, perhaps in frustration, commits the foul, her first. Team's first as well. Sinette to the free throw line for McMahon. Working some patience. Courtney Spencer is denied. All kinds of interior presence for Wheaton early on. Here come the Thunder. Olson looking to press, falling to the floor. Take a look at Olson coming hard into Sinette, who picks up her first. Team's third, and Brooke Olson is at the line. Olson 8th in the CCIW in free throw percentage. Perfect on the first, 5'9" senior from Wheaton, Illinois. Leads the CCIW in scoring at 15.4 points per game. She was a 3rd-team all-conference choice last year. Wheaton graduated a 1st-team and a 2nd-team all-conference selection. But Olson returns as the leading scorer and is leading the conference. Hits both free throws here. Stephanie Carrillo also said, for whatever reason, the last few meetings between these two teams seem to come down to the last couple of minutes of play. Good move by Sinette. Spencer along the baseline. Back out to Sinette. Screen for McMahon, screen and roll, and Fiona McMahon is on her way to the line. Can't say enough about the emergence of Fiona McMahon for Elmhurst this year. The sophomore out of St. Charles, Illinois, has taken a huge step forward. There's a look from the basket cam at the contact on McMahon, who's at the free throw line. And hits the first free throw. McMahon is 2nd to Brooke Olson in scoring, and is also leading the CCIW in rebounding at 10.2 per game. Perfect on both. She's a very good free throw shooter as well, good for 6th in the conference. Always important when you have a post player who you know is going to be receiving a lot of touches to be solid at the stripe. Olson for 3. McMahon volleyballs the rebound in the air, and Sinette will chase down. Chance for Elmhurst to take the lead. It would be the first of the day. Spencer for 3, air ball. Devin Vaughn had to be careful not to commit the foul on Olson. Olson talking about the scoring, also 2nd in the CCIW in steals, 2nd in assists. Already has been named the Conference Player of the Week once this year. Dribbles in and tries the 18-footer well short. And this time it'll be Vaughn boxing out for Elmhurst on Olson. Devin Vaughn, a junior for the Blue Jays. One of the many experienced players kind of stepping up as an underclassman, so to speak. Here's McMahon, stuffed by Hovey. Elmhurst has just 2 seniors in Stephanie Mitchell and Kim Schwartman. The majority of the players on this roster are freshmen and sophomores. Hovey, wing right, air ball. Mitchell lets it right out of play. 14:45 to play. Elmhurst will have the basketball yet again. Substitutions into the contest. And a Considine returning for Wheaton. Also in is Ellie Zeller.
For Wheaton.
For Elmhurst, it's Claire Monroe, her first appearance today, and Tess Godhart is back as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see this contest be very low scoring throughout. Sinnett open for three, bingo! Karen Sinnett out of Anchorage, Alaska, a transfer this season for the Blue Jays, has stepped in and is the third best three-point shooter in the conference. Panaggio takes towards the rack. And Maria Panaggio, a junior from Peru, on her way to the free throw line. Let's get a look at Karen Sinnett yet again. Sinnett, 5 of the 7 points on the board for Elmhurst. Free throw is no good from Panaggio. Panaggio has appeared in all 16 games this season with a couple of starts for Wheaton, averaging 3.6 points per ball game, 69% shooter. Claws the Thunder to within 7-5. Wheaton applies a little bit of pressure. Nothing too difficult for Devin Vaughn to handle as she eases her way across half court. Vaughn, cross court to Sinnett, open for three again. Yes, indeed. Karen Sinnett with 8 of the 10 on the board for Elmhurst. A 10-5 lead for the Blue Jays with 13:50 to play in the first. Olsen in the triple threat. Skips to Considine, low post move short, but an offensive rebound for Zeller, clearing out, and the Thunder take advantage of the second opportunity. Mariah Reeves with the putback for Wheaton. Trailing by 3 with 13:20 left in this first half. Mitchell denied. Godhart alertly ties up Considine on the rebound. Arrow will stay with Elmhurst. Take a look at the shot block on Mitchell. Tried to work her way right between 2 defenders. There you can see Considine and Godhart tangling as well. Fresh 30 for Elmhurst. Godhart, baseline J, no good. Reeves leads the break for the Thunder. Steps Olsen for 3. Connects. First triple for Wheaton today. The Thunder had been 0 for their first 3 from the land of 3. Elmhurst retains possession as it ends up in the Wheaton bench. Take a look at Olsen's 3 coming off of a screen. Found herself wide open, was able to set and convert to tie the contest. Devin Vaughn cuts towards the basket. Elmhurst trying to stay patient. Technic Carrillo told me the biggest key today on offense for Elmhurst was going to be making the extra pass. Stephanie Mitchell is contacted in the post. Second foul on Hannah Considine. So while the Thunder may have a size advantage here today in the post, with both Hovey and Considine in the starting lineup, now Considine, less than 8 minutes into the contest, heads to the bench with 2 fouls. So with Hovey matching up on Fiona McMahon, Hovey trying to deny that interior pass. Elmhurst working the perimeter. Plenty of time for Sinnett. Sinnett bouncing in the lane for McMahon, denied again. This time Ellie Zeller with the swat, 2-on-1. Olsen leaves it for the wide open Panaggio, and a great finish. Wheaton back in front at 12-10. You've seen it early today as Elmhurst turns it over. Wheaton has a very strong size advantage. They lead the CCIW in blocks. Additionally, they lead the CCIW in assists, making an extra pass like that. The no look from Olsen to Panaggio. 11:45 first half. Katie Swanson has entered off the bench for Elmhurst. Shot clock down to 10. Olsen will try again for 3. Nearly the same spot where she hit moments ago, but it's Fiona McMahon with solid position for the rebound. Wheaton holding an early 10-8 advantage on the glass. To me, that'll be the biggest key in this one. Who can dominate on the glass? A couple of teams who have been out-rebounding their opponents throughout the course of the year. A lot of that due to their size in the post. Down to 5 for Elmhurst. Sinet has to hurry. Did she beat the shot clock just in the nick of time, but missed the J? Sinet, though, keeps it alive, and Elmhurst will have a second opportunity. Good ball fake for Swanson. Skipping into the lane, McMahon double-teamed, and 3 seconds. 4th turnover for Elmhurst of the half. Wheaton holds a 12-10 advantage on the scoreboard as Tethany Carrillo spends a 30-second timeout with 10:43 to play in the first. Both teams are struggling from the floor early on. A lot of that credit has to go to the opposing defenses, particularly for Wheaton. Post defense has been strong. Wheaton 4 of 14 from the field. Elmhurst 3 of 13. Rebounds are now even at 10 apiece. Brooke Olsen picks it up as the clock starts to wind in the first half, closing in on the midway point. Olsen bouncing. Olsen stepping back. The long 2 is short. And Swanson soaring in for the board. Sinet in front of the Wheaton bench. Ball above her head. Staying patient. Swanson twisting. Shot clock is down to 7. On the baseline, it's Godhart with an air ball. And Hovey the board. 3-on-2 for Wheaton. Pulling up is Reeves, who hits the transition 2. Thunder have been very good in transition so far today. 4-point advantage for Wheaton at 14-10. Monroe in the lane for McMahon, drawing the crowd. Back out to Monroe. McMahon tried to set the screen. Monroe knifes through, locates Sinet. Shot clock down to 3. Here's Monroe to beat the buzzer. McMahon keeps the rebound alive, and chasing it down will be Monroe as Elmhurst saves possession. 4 fresh bodies at the scorer's table, but an offensive foul is called as Karen Sinet knocks down Brooke Olsen. Second foul on Sinet, and that's trouble for Elmhurst because Sinet has been the offense for the Blue Jays here in the first half. 8 of the 10 points belong to Karen Sinet.
And Vaughn
Exits with those 2 fouls.
Spencer and Schaefer also checking
Devin
in
Vaughn
for
on for the
Elmhurst.
Blue Jays. Stephanie Mitchell is back. The only player who stayed for Elmhurst was Vaughn. Whitney Schaefer is in for the Blue Jays. Courtney Spencer back out there. Some help in the block for Melanie Schwartman. Spencer now handling the points. Crisscrossing. Mitchell for Schwartman underneath. Yes, indeed. Good feed from Mitchell to Schwartman. Melanie Schwartman, the 5'10" sophomore, scoring for Elmhurst. Quick miss for Wheaton and a foul on the rebound. This will be the 4th against the Thunder. Let's take a look at that pass again from Mitchell. The lob in the lane to Schwartman. A nice little spin move to convert.
Team foul.
Elmhurst needs to see a lot of that here in the first half. Mitchell steps out. Now it's Devin Vaughn, a couple of dribbles to her right. Spencer into the lane. Hovey reaches out and knocks it free. Shot clock is at 11 for Elmhurst. Ellie Zeller returns for the Thunder. For Mariah Reeves. Good look at Tethny Carrillo and her staff on the Elmhurst bench. Shot clock down to 5. Mitchell hurried, and Hovey denies as the shot clock sounds. The officials will talk it over. They could put 1 back on the shot clock, and it looks like that will be the plan of attack. So we get a second look on Mitchell running into Hovey yet again. Maris Hovey, who has been out with mono, returned in the loss to Carthage this weekend, ranks 2nd in the CCIW in blocks. Do you know who's the CCIW leader? I'll give you a hint, she's also in this game. Confusion. The shot clock apparently started even though it was at 1 before the ball was actually inbounded. Referee at the scorer's table talking it over. The CCIW's leader in blocks is Fiona McMahon, 2nd in scoring, 1st in rebounding, CCIW leader in blocks and field goal percentage. McMahon is not on the floor for the Blue Jays currently. Off a screen, Schaefer for desperation, no good. But a pretty good look, given that it had to be a catch and shoot. 7:50 left in the half. Olsen playing catch with Bolin. Devin Vaughn with a reach on Bolin. That'll be her 2nd. Foul's really not a problem at this point.
Charge to Devin Vaughn. 16
fouls against Elmhurst, but 2 have been against Sinet and 2 against Devin Vaughn as well. Lauren Graham forced to change course. Plenty of time for Wheaton. Graham with an arm bar, reaching in against Schwartman, who converts a block. Get a second look. Schwartman saying, I don't think so. Inside of 10. Graham bouncing to the baseline. Hovey's long J, no good. The putback goes for Ellie Zeller.
That
foul as well.
Whitney Schaefer.
Whitney Schaefer with the foul, her first.
Team foul.
Team foul number 7. There's the putback.
At the free throw line is Zeller.
Ellie Zeller to the stripe, 67% shooter from there this season. Zeller with 3 starts on the year for the Thunder. Freshman from New Brighton, Minnesota. Unable to finish the 3-point play, and it's Wheaton by 4 at 16-12. Mitchell screens for Spencer. Spencer picks up the dribble, bounce for Schwartman. Shot clock down to 10. Spencer drawing the crowd. Devin Vaughn steps out. Vaughn with a long shoot is good. Vaughn from 14 for Elmhurst, matching the total on the board of 14. And now Vaughn in to challenge Olsen with a strong take to the hole.
Wheaton basket by Olsen.
The Wheaton guards very, very aggressive here in the first half. Tethny Carrillo was expecting that. A lot of similarities between these two teams. I'd say really the only difference between these clubs is the experience of Wheaton versus the youth of Elmhurst. Again inside of 10. Devin Vaughn tries to create for herself. Flips to Mitchell, who walks in the lane.
Claire Monroe back in for
Claire Monroe
Elmhurst.
returns for Elmhurst. Monroe, a freshman for the Blue Jays. You look at the lineup right now, you have Monroe, a freshman, Spencer, a freshman, Melanie Schwartman, a sophomore, Karen Sinnett is a junior, but Sinnett's a newcomer to the Elmhurst program, and Stephanie Mitchell is a senior. Inside of 6 minutes. Hovey starts to move, backing up with Mitchell on her very loosely. Here's Lee, flipping to Hovey, a wraparound pass towards Graham, no good. Offensive rebound, second chance is short, ball is still loose. And knocked ahead towards Karen Sinnett, who secures. And Spencer to the free throw line.
That foul charge to Lee.
Take a look at Spencer drawing towards the basket.
5th team foul at the free throw line.
Foul is on Jen Lee, her first.
Spencer.
5th against the Thunder. Courtney Spencer is at the stripe. Out of Rolling Prairie, Indiana. First free throw up and in.
Reeves and Panaggio back for Wheaton.
Spencer
McMahon
almost perfect from the free throw
Blue
line this
Jays.
season, 11 of 12. Averaging a touch under 3 points per ball game. Hits them both. Elmhurst within 2 at 18-16. Both teams have to be pleased with the pace of the contest so far. Hovey bounces towards Olsen. Tried to work it underneath. Sinnett ahead in transition long. Got a very late whistle coming in.
That foul charge to
Hovey, the guilty party.
6th team foul on the Thunder.
Her first, the 6th on the Thunder. 2 shots for Karen Sinnett.
For the Blue Jays. 2 shots.
Anchorage, Alaska native. It's the free throw. Sinnett came to Elmhurst this year after spending 2 seasons at Judson University in Elgin. Stepped right into the starting lineup for Tethny Carrillo. Started 16 of the 17 games this season, but unable to hit both free throws. Had a chance to tie, but Wheaton continues to maintain a 1-point advantage. Panaggio rotating around the arc. Here's Zeller in the lane long. Zeller tried to keep it alive, but the long arms of Fiona McMahon reaching up and securing it. It's one thing to be lanky, it's another thing to be lanky and strong. Fiona McMahon worked this offseason with her brother, who played soccer here at Elmhurst, to try and get stronger and made a lot of strides from her freshman season to her sophomore campaign. Sinnett for 3, again. Karen Sinnett with 12 points for Elmhurst. Timeout. Elmhurst in front by a pair at 20-18 with 4:14 to play in the first. Have a second look at Karen Sinnett yet again. How do you not put a body out there? I guess it's possible due to the crowd on Fiona McMahon. Second look, Wheaton just scrambling. Plenty of time for Sinnett to set, as Reeves was the only body able to come in there. Good look at Karen Sinnett with 12 points on the board for the Thunder of the 20. 12 of the 20 on the board for Elmhurst, I should say, with 4:14 to play. You're looking at both huddles. Some of the atmosphere here at RA Faginal Hall involves the cheerleaders under the basket as well. Second go-round through the CCIW schedule for Elmhurst will feature home dates against Illinois Wesleyan, Carthage, and Augustana. Carthage matchup is on February 6th. Carthage is unblemished right now in the CCIW, while Augustana will be the home finale on February 16th. All smiles. Elmhurst has taken 2 timeouts here in the first half. Blue Jays at 30%, 6 of 20 from the field. Wheaton 7 of 25, 28%. shot block on Zeller. Couldn't save it out of play. CCIW's leader in shot blocks. Was telling you about Fiona McMahon earlier. McMahon wants the basketball. Spencer gives it to her. McMahon, turnaround, no. Panaggio sneaks in on the weak side for the rebound. Shot clock half gone for Wheaton. Zeller in the lane for Hovey. Wasn't sure if that was a pass or a shot. It was deflected by the Blue Jays either way. Down to 10 seconds to work with here for Wheaton as Olsen inbounds. Into the corner. Splash from Zeller with her foot up against the line. All square at 20 apiece. Good first half so far. Again, McMahon wants the basketball. Double screen, McMahon comes and curls. McMahon a screen and roll towards the basket. And a jump ball is called, that's a turnover. Well, if you're scouting Elmhurst, it's pretty simple. The game plan is going to be get the ball inside to Fiona McMahon. And you can see every time she touches the basketball, the Thunder will plan on collapsing defensively. It's one of the reasons why Karen Sinnett has been able to put together such a strong first half, because of the attention that McMahon draws. 2:45 in the first. Three on the way from Panaggio, no good. Karen Sinnett with one arm controls the rebound. Here's McMahon, lost the ball, it's on the ground, off the foot of Olsen, who never saw it coming. .17 on the shot for the Blue Jays. McMahon waiting. Starts to move. Olsen reaches in, knocks it loose. It's on the floor. Hovey along the sideline, able to keep it in play and come up with the steal. Boy, she's pretty good with the ball in her hand as well. Leading the break, a 3-on-2. And now Wheaton will slow it up. Panaggio slips one to Zeller, who scores. 22-20, Wheaton with the lead with less than 2 minutes to play in the first half. Sinnett falls to the floor. The ball came loose. Steal for Zeller, swooping in to score. And Sinnett crawling on her hands and knees, favoring her right leg. Kent Madsen, the Wheaton head coach, over to check as well. Let's see if we can get a glimpse at what happened. I don't know if she just planted a little awkwardly or what. But Matt Pasalacqua, the Elmhurst College trainer, will have a look behind the Blue Jay bench. Probably won't see Sinnett for the remainder of the first half. We'll give her a chance to recuperate back in the locker room as well. There's never a good time for an injury, but if you want one to occur, I suppose it would be right before halftime. So you have that lengthy break to kind of work on it and hopefully have her come back strong for the second. Offensive foul. Panaggio fell to the floor. Melanie Schwartman commits the foul. See if we can get a look. Schwartman just reaching in, kind of long-arming Panaggio, knocking her to the floor. A minute and change to play in the first. Reeves back out to Panaggio, front of the iron. Schwartman with the rebound for Elmhurst. Inside a minute. Elmhurst down 4 at home. McMahon in the lane for Schwartman, yes. Melanie Schwartman converting. It's the second time the Blue Jays have gone to Schwartman inside. Zeller tries to start the contact with a jump stop for Wheaton. shot clock is off. See if Elmhurst holds for the final shot here. Certainly looks like it. Fiona McMahon, left, right, travel. Have to keep that pivot foot down on the floor. 13 3/10. Wheaton will head to the locker room with the lead. Is it by 4 or more? Plenty of time for Olsen. We'll ease across, turn on the Jets around a screen from Hovey, pull up at the elbow and connect. Design play for Olsen, who hits the jumper as we head to the locker room with Wheaton holding a 28-22 lead on the scoreboard. Well, Elmhurst has done a lot in terms of defensively to be able to slow down this Wheaton squad. They just need to start to hit some shots on the offensive end, and well, simply put, the Achilles heel for the Blue Jays in the first half of the CCIW slate has been the turnovers, and it's biting them again here. 11 first half turnovers. Compare that to only 2 for Wheaton, a team that is very fundamentally sound. And the Thunder have the lead at the break, 28-22 on Blue Jay TV and Elmhurst, our kind of town.
Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.
Tim Calderwood back at R.A. Faginal Hall. We're at the half. Wheaton holds a 28-22 lead over Elmhurst. In just a few moments, we'll run down the first half statistics for you. First, though, let's have a look at some of the highlights from the opening 20 minutes of play. For Elmhurst, it was the Karen Sinnett show, very early showcasing her range, and following it up moments later with another long-range jumper for the Blue Jays. One of the biggest keys we talked about for Wheaton, their ability to distribute the basketball. Good feed there for the bucket from Mariah Reeves. How about this in transition? The no-look pass from Olsen into Panaggio. Again in the transition game. Hovey feeds the open Reeves, who hits in transition. Elmhurst, meanwhile, tried to get the ball inside in the first half. A lot of that was some great lob work into Melanie Shortman. Provided some very strong offense off the bench. Rebounding was going to be a key as well. There's a second chance basket for Ellie Zeller, who was fouled in the process as well. Devin Vaughn stepped out and hit a long-range J with the shot clock winding down. Some more looks for you. Yet another pass leading to a bucket. Strong first half for Ellie Zeller on the Wheaton side, coming off of the bench. Again, it's Melanie Shortman for the Blue Jays. And one more look for you just before the half. The jumper from Brooke Olsen. 28-22 is the score at the half. Wheaton with the advantage. Wheaton shot 35% in the first half, 12 of 34. They have a 6-point lead despite shooting only 1 of 6 from three-point range. Elmhurst was 7 of 22, 31.8%. The Blue Jays were 3 of 6 from three-point range and also hit 5 of 6 free throws in the half. Elmhurst with a 21-18 lead on the glass early. Take a look at some of the individual numbers. Karen Sinnett paces the Blue Jays with 12 points. Ellie Zeller off the bench with 10, leading Wheaton. Brooke Olson with 9 for the Thunder as well. Interesting to note, Wheaton received only 11 first-half points from the starting 5. The Thunder with 17 points from their bench. Compare that to only 4 for Elmhurst, all of which came from Melanie Schwartman. Wheaton with a 16-4 advantage in points in the paint. A lot of that came in the transition game, as you saw. The Thunder recorded 8 points off of 11 Elmhurst turnovers. We had 4 ties and 4 lead changes in the first half of play. The largest lead was 6 points, which is where we stand presently. What adjustments did Tethny Carrillo make in the locker room? We'll find out here as the second half begins. Elmhurst will have the basketball. The Blue Jays in the light blue uniforms. Wheaton in the orange. Devin Vaughn inbounds, and we're underway in the second. Tess Godhart puts it on the deck, fakes right, comes back to the left, underneath, up and in. Tess Godhart did not score in the first half. Elmhurst will need Godhart's 11.9 points per game in the second half if they are to win this contest here at home and improve to 4-3 in the CCIW. Considine backing her way in over the top of Godhart, defended nicely with some help from Fiona McMahon. And Elmhurst forces the quick one and done. So let's revisit some of our keys. We said transition defense. In that highlight package, you had a look at Wheaton in their transition offense taking advantage. Fiona McMahon draws the contact. And on offense, Elmhurst needs to make the extra pass. Tethny Carrillo said that was the big key as we get a look at Tess Godhart's take to score the first points of the second half. Another look for you, Godhart. Nice rotation underneath the bucket. Fiona McMahon at the free throw line, no good. A number I did not mention from the first half, blocks. Wheaton with 7 blocked shots. Consider that Elmhurst missed 15 shots total in the first half. That means that half of Elmhurst's misses were by virtue of Wheaton's defense inside. McMahon unable to convert on either free throw. It has been a frustrating first 20 minutes of play for Fiona McMahon, who in the first half saw the floor for 14 minutes, had 7 rebounds, but only 2 points. Bolin off target. Big possession here for Elmhurst, trying to start something in transition. It's Godhart again. 4 points for Tess Godhart to open the second half. The sophomore from Hinckley, Illinois. 28-26, but a blocking foul is called, much to the dismay of the crowd gathered here. Let's take a look at Tess Godhart in transition. This time showing she can shoot as well. Devin Vaughn commits the foul. That is her third. It's the first on the Blue Jays. Brianna Bolin driving along the baseline to strike. Bolin also did not score in the first half. So for Wheaton here in the second, they're going to need to find some more secondary scoring options, particularly from the starting 5. 30-26. McMahon posting up in the lane, hesitated. Perhaps because she's run into a lot of Maris Hovey, who has 4 blocks in the game. Shot clock down to 5. Godhart short. Considine controls for Wheaton. Thunder looking to press. Brooke Olson taking all the way. Olson scores. The third team all CCIW choice from a season ago into double figures for the Thunder with 11. Back to a 6-point margin for the visitors. Looking to win for the 14th time this season. Spencer down the right side of the lane, picks up the dribble with the shot clock winding down. Godhart will step in, the long 2 off to the right, and Hovey in position for the Thunder. Pretty consistently, that shot clock has been winding down for Elmhurst. Here's Hovey trying to showcase some range, no good. Jen Lee aggressively keeps the rebound alive. Around to Olson cross court, 3-pointer no good. And Fiona McMahon with another board for Elmhurst. Won't be surprised to see her potentially in double figures yet again. At least focused on the glass. She had 7 first-half rebounds. Down to 10. McMahon calling for the basketball. Sinnett tried to slip it in. As it come back to Sinnett. Sinnett will float it up along the baseline. No good. There's McMahon's second chance. And Brianna Bolin with a piece of the arm. Let's get a second look on the attempt. Here's Sinnett on the take. No good. And Fiona McMahon is right there for the rebound. And Fiona McMahon was fouled. Charge it to Considine, actually, which is her 3rd. And now McMahon is at the free throw line. First attempt is good. One of the quirks of the CCIW schedule. On Wednesday night, now both the men and women will be playing the same team, except at opposite sites. So the Elmhurst men are actually at Wheaton this evening. McMahon, second attempt is long. She seems to be struggling all around so far today. It's been tough going inside for Fiona McMahon. Not a lot of teams can match her size and her physicality. That has been the case for Wheaton as Brooke Olson connects again. The Thunder were silent on the perimeter in the first half, making only 1 3. Olson with a quick dagger here to start the second, and the Thunder are up by 8. The largest lead of the game for the visitors. Devin Vaughn dribbled it off her foot. Olson with the steal. Godhart hustling in. Olson pulls up, no good. Rebound is loose, and Panaggio controls. Underneath, hesitating is Zeller, clearing back out. Hovey along the baseline. Zipping over towards Zeller, spotting up and hitting. Double-digit lead. 37-27 and a timeout for Elmhurst. 15:43 left in the matchup here today. Wheaton holding a 10-point lead as the Thunder have come out blazing to start the second half. Inside, outside, it's working across the board for the Thunder as we peer in at the Elmhurst huddle. Bethany Carrillo speaking to her squad. Get a look at the last Wheaton basket. Nice feed from Hovey, skipping over to Zeller. This Wheaton team leads the CCIW with assists. They had 7 in the first half on 12 field goals. Kent Madsen guiding the Thunder, talking with his squad. Everybody. 10-point game, Wheaton with the advantage. Thunder have heated up here in the second. Also have been very good with the basketball in their hands today. Only 2 turnovers for Wheaton combined in the first half and the first 4:17 of the second. Wheaton will apply a little pressure here as well. It's Claire Monroe working it up towards Devin Vaughn. Directs traffic as she starts to move. Spencer in front of the Elmhurst bench. Shot clock down to 12. Out comes Schwartman. Devin Vaughn dribbling in, over to Spencer. Shot clock down to 3. Spencer in the lane, short. Rebound for Panaggio. 3-on-2 for the Thunder. Panaggio tried to bounce for Olson, and a good job of Devin Vaughn diving in, poking the ball away. But Wheaton retains possession as Jen Lee dribbles along the baseline. Now it's Panaggio with the shot clock half gone. Lauren Graham working, waiting. Panaggio in the lane, throws it up, no good. Second chance coming, nobody boxed out. Ellie Zeller. The freshman averaging a touch under 8 points per ball game. That's some solid contributions coming off of the bench. But the second leading scorer for the Thunder today. Mitchell aiming for Schwartman, who scored, but Schwartman was held up before the basket. Take a look at the last Wheaton bucket. Good positioning for Ellie Zeller. Second foul charge to Maria Panaggio. Elmhurst needs to find a way to start chipping away at the deficit. Otherwise, the Blue Jays could be in some trouble here. Down a dozen. Looking to avoid potentially being blown out here at home.
Right here, Blue, let's go.
Elmhurst with 7 of the 9 victories this season here at home. Officials talking it over. Tim Owens, Ron Quirkin, Joel Stever, the officiating crew. Keep it with Elmhurst. Officials telling the shot clock to tick off 1 second. There it is. Because of the fact that the ball was actually inbounded. Sinet in the corner. Surveying. Pass Schwartman into the cheerleaders. They might be wearing blue, but I don't think they're ready to play today. Elmhurst turns it over for the 13th time. Graham around Schwartman, falls to the floor, flips it out to Panaggio. Panaggio connecting, 14-point lead for Wheaton at 41-27. Out of 10 for Vaughn. Around 2 defenders to score. And here's Olsen. Off the window, no good. Kent Madsen wanted his team to crash. Nobody went to the glass. Sinet. No good this time. Karen Sinet was very strong in the first half, hitting 4 of her 5 attempts. Many of those from long range. Off target here as we take a look at the last basket for Devin Vaughn, creating all by herself. Has entered. Stephanie Mitchell, spin move on the way up.
Fourth team foul on the Thunder. At the free throw line for the Blue Jays is Stephanie Mitchell. 2 shots.
2 shots for Stephanie Mitchell, who buries the first. Mitchell out of Roscommon, Michigan. 3-year letter winner. Career high 12 points last season against Presentation College in November. Has played in 20-plus contests in each of her first 3 seasons with Elmhurst, and well on her way to eclipsing that total again here in the 2012-2013 campaign. 11-point Wheaton lead. First goal for Elmhurst will be to whittle it under double digits. Won't happen like that, though. Ellie Zeller yet again. The Blue Jays have not been able to stop Zeller. Schwartman did not realize she had numbers. Now Karen Sinet will come in. Mitchell around Hovey, denied. Block number 5 for Maris Hovey. Wow. Hasn't done a whole lot offensively for Wheaton, but hasn't needed to. However, she's been involved offensively like that. The assist on the basket from Mariah Reeves. And a timeout for Elmhurst, who is now down 15. The largest deficit of the day, 45-30. Elmhurst with only 2 timeouts remaining. The second half has been all Wheaton. Perhaps it took 20 minutes for the Thunder. Again, Taffy Carrillo
all the time. We've seen her
trying to relay the instructions to her squad.
You gotta sit down, you gotta guard. Okay, you understand? Again, on the offensive end, we can get it inside. We're high-low. She's getting it every.
Kent Madsen and Wheaton. Thunder seemingly on cruise control here in the second half.
All right. All we're going to do is just man press.
Get a look at the last couple of buckets for Wheaton. Good take and score for Ellie Zeller. And there's Hovey's skip pass towards Mariah Reeves. In the second half, the Thunder are now out-rebounding Elmhurst. It's 11-5 here in the second half. Elmhurst has turned it over twice. Wheaton only 1 turnover in the second half. The Thunder are shooting 41% for the game. Garrett Sinnett will waltz across. 11:35 to play. Shortman wants the basketball. Great denial. Panaggio knocked it away. Mariah Reeves came up with it for the Thunder. Olsen on the spin move. Nice little follow and a friendly roll. Well, she's a really good-looking player with a nice shot as well. A senior for Wheaton. Having a big day today, 16 points, matching her with Ellie Zeller for the team high. Karen Sinnett, no good. It was falling in the first half, not so much here in the second. 17-point Wheaton lead, looking for more as Panaggio cycles along the baseline. Underneath, up and under move. Wow. Mariah Reeves, right underneath the basket, toss it over her shoulder and in. Daphne Carrillo will have a line change for the Blue Jays in moments. This lineup on the floor has been struggling. Swanson takes, it's loose. Out of bounds at 16 on the shot clock. Godhart, McMahon, Spencer, and Nikki Moan are in. Mariah Reeves, how about that shot? Up over the left shoulder with the left hand. 19-point lead, 49-30. My goodness. Calling for the basketball is McMahon, no good. Been a frustrating day for Fiona McMahon, who was in the face of Mariah Reeves defensively. And a turnover for the Thunder. Boy, those have been few and far between. Here's Godhart off of the races. Godhart, who was strong to start the second, fails to convert here, but Elmhurst will retain. Spencer has to hurry. 5-second count. Hovey, the ball pressed up against her hip. Down to 10, a travel is called on Hannah Considine. Boy, as much as we've talked about, at least early on, the post presence of Wheaton and Hannah Considine and Maris Hovey, both of whom have been on the floor together in spurts. They started the contest together. It's always been one on, one off, or both on the floor throughout the course of the game. As Nikki Moan throws it away, and it's a backcourt violation. Neither of them have done a lot on the offensive end. Say that, but Hovey has been extremely effective on the defensive side. And Hovey's also been able to create with a lot of crisp passes directing the offense. Brooke Olson taking her time. And an illegal screen will force the turnover. Third foul on Maris Hovey. Past the midway point of the second. Elmhurst would love nothing more than a bucket here to start to chip away. Godhart looking for McMahon, hesitating. Called for a 3-second, could have been a travel in there as well. I'll be honest, throughout this 2012-2013 season, I have not seen Fiona McMahon hesitate in a lane. I don't know if it's because she's seeing two bodies consistently today that are the same size as her every time the ball comes into the post. She has been struggling inside and will head to the bench as well with 9:13 to play. It's over 20 points now for Wheaton, 51-30. Devin Vaughn for three, in and out. Considine makes it one and done. Brooke Olson tried to press the issue. Swanson with some good defense. No look feed for Godhart, who is not giving up for the Blue Jays with 8:44 to play. Tess Godhart, used to playing in big ball games. Take a look at the finish here off of a nice bounce pass from Swanson. Swanson forced the steal and waited for Considine to commit as Godhart strikes. Godhart did not score in the first half. 6 in the second, but cannot finish the three-point play. Dribbling in, it's Mariah Reeves, no good. Reeves follows the own shot, sets up Olson for three, and Melanie Schwartman taps it to herself. There's a stop on the defensive end. Can Elmhurst turn it into points? McMahon, strong, no. Bothered by Hovey, and you can tell the presence in the post definitely having an effect on Fiona McMahon's mindset here today. Reeves, and a whistle.
Foul charge to McMahon, her second. Second team foul charge to the Blue Jays. At the free throw line for the Thunder is Reeves.
Mariah Reeves, the freshman for Wheaton. Didn't hit either free throw. So again, it's a stop on the defensive end. Needs to translate into points. McMahon screens for Spencer. Swanson to the free throw line. 15 to work with. McMahon starts to work against Hovey. Shot clock inside of 10. Reset. Schwartman screens for Spencer. It's out of the reach of Schwartman. Off to the races is Reeves. Ahead to Panaggio, left the layup short. Rather than press the issue, Spencer will slow it up. 7:23 to play in the ball game. Godhart waiting. Lobbing for McMahon, surrounded. Cross court over to Spencer for three. Yes, indeed. (51-35) timeout Wheaton. It's a full one. It's 6:57 to play, so still time potentially for Elmhurst. Take a look at the big three for the Blue Jays. And Courtney Spencer. Another angle for you. They've struggled inside the day, to say the least. If that perimeter game can start to heat up for the Blue Jays, they may have a chance at coming back. Kent Madsen talking to the Thunder. It was a Wheaton timeout. It's amazing, you look at both head coaches and their demeanor is almost exactly the same. You would never know by looking in at the huddles that Wheaton is up by 16. Calm as ever for Tethny Carrillo. She's had some very good Elmhurst teams during her tenure. As I mentioned at the outset, the Blue Jays are right in the middle of a giant race for the CCIW. Carthage is 2 games up on everybody as the first go-round through the conference winds up today. Wheaton and Illinois Wesleyan are 2 behind, but there's only 2 games between 2nd place Wheaton and Illinois Wesleyan and 7th place Augustana. So a lot to be decided in the second half of the conference slate. And again, the Blue Jays will have 2 more home dates in February 6th and 16th. Carthage and Augustana visit R.A. Fagenal Hall. McMahon loosely on Hovey. Wheaton can afford to run some clock here, down to 10. Hovey hesitates, takes 1 dribble, pulls up from 16, way off the target, but nobody remembered to box out. Panaggio no good, but a 3rd opportunity coming. Here's Jen Lee for 3 and her first points of the day. Have to rebound if you're Elmhurst. Jen Lee, the junior, hits the 3-pointer, and it's 54-35 with 6:15 to play. Schwartman, no good. Hovey presses the rebound. Now slow it up for the Thunder. No points on offense for Hovey. You really can credit her with taking out Fiona McMahon. I must have ESPN or something, because I just told you that Hovey had no points, and that changed. She scores. 56-35. McMahon over the top of Hovey, and a foul. So Fiona McMahon on her way to the free throw line. Take a look at the last 2 buckets. There's a 3 from Jen Lee. And Hovey with her first points. Nice little wraparound pass. Fiona McMahon, it's the free throw. McMahon appeared in all 25 contests last year. 2 of those as a starter. How about this for a turnaround? A season ago, averaged 6.4 points per game and 6.0 rebounds per contest. She has more than doubled her points total. And averaging double figures in rebounds as well. 5.5 to play. Elmhurst down 19. Lee for 3 again. The other side, no good. Mitchell bouncing towards Vaughn. 15 to work with. Vaughn rids herself of the defender and scores. Good move for Devin Vaughn. Easing her way around Ellie Zeller. 56-39 inside of 5 minutes. Panaggio for Zeller, who was out of bounds. It's a turnover. Take a look at Devin Vaughn, backing her way in. Quick second step. Shot clock inside of 10, starting to work. Sinet has yet to score in the second half, following a dozen in the first. Claire Monroe has it denied. And Panaggio comes away for the Thunder with 4:12 remaining. Stepping out is Zeller and hitting. 18 points off the bench for Ellie Zeller. Points for Zeller, a career high. Her previous career high was 14 at Claremont Mudscripts on December 7th. Again, hesitation for the Blue Jays. Take a look at the range of Zeller. Hannah Considine charged with her 5th foul. So Considine is done for the rest of the day. Maris Hovey will replace her.
For the Thunder, Devin Vaughn to the free throw line for the Blue Jays. 2 shots.
Make sure you get middle if you can.
Free throw no good from Vaughn. Second one is good, however. 18-point advantage for the Thunder with 3:38 remaining. Clock will start to run. Wheaton looking for a big road victory here tonight. Last season, the Thunder fell here at R.A. Fagenal Hall as the home team won each meeting a year ago. Fiona McMahon up and in. 7 points for McMahon on a quiet evening. Brooke Olsen for 3. Trade the 2 for a 3, back to a 19-point advantage. The Thunder had very little of an outside game to speak of at the start of the contest today. That is their 3rd 3 of the second half, 4 in total for the contest. 2.5 remaining. Monroe into the lane for McMahon, back out Sinnett for 3, indeed. First 3-pointer for Karen Sinnett of the second half. Sinnett with 15 for Elmhurst. 61-45, it's a 16-point game. Closing in on 2 minutes. Panaggio at the elbow. Spin move, partially deflected by Fiona McMahon. Sinnett scoops and outlets. Here's McMahon off the feed from Vaughn, wouldn't fall. The free throws for Fiona McMahon. Take a look at the first 3 for Karen Sinnett in the second half. Sinnett was the offense for a majority of the first for Elmhurst. Those were her first 3 points of the second. Fiona McMahon buries the free throw. McMahon with 8 points and 11 rebounds today. Gets them both. 14-point game. Less than 2 minutes. 3-on-1. Panaggio strikes off the feet from Wheaton. That's going to happen when you have to press. Which the Blue Jays need to, down by 16. Monroe back towards Vaughn. Spin move, follow, no good. Fiona McMahon kept it alive for Nikki Moan. Fresh 30. Here's McMahon again, and Hovey with a piece. So Hovey's out. Hovey and Considine, the 2 post players for Wheaton, are both fouled out of the contest. Lauren Graham at 5'10", a sophomore, will enter. Fiona McMahon with Elmhurst down 16 is at the line. Connects on the free throw. McMahon is in double figures. Another double-double for the sophomore. Such a weapon to have, both inside and outside. And now McMahon heads to the bench. She'll depart. With 1:21 to play. 14-point game for Wheaton. Panaggio hands off to Graham. Shot clock at 10, down to a minute. Graham takes and strikes. Timeout Wheaton. Just a substitution timeout though for Kent Madsen. We'll take a 30-second timeout to reset the floor and congregate his troops rather quickly. Let's take a look at the last basket for Lauren Graham, creating for herself, getting it strong to the hole.
If I catch it at the top and I go finishing, do I go down?
Melanie Schwartman continuing to chat with Tethny Carrillo. Kate Huxema is in for Wheaton. Brooke Olson stays. Huxema with her first appearance. Panaggio knocks it into the lap of Kent Madsen, who takes his seat. (65-49) with 46.8. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound loose. Panaggio will slow it up. 5-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Wheaton moments away from the 5th CCIW victory of the year. Lauren Graham will drive and strike. Shot clock is off for the final 19 seconds. In the corner, the three coming from Monroe. Claire Monroe, 7th in the CCIW in three-point percentage. Clock is running as Brooke Olson. And they're just going to say that's the end of the game. Okay. Said the clock never started on the inbounds pass to Olson. And now the final 2 seconds, just for the heck of it, will tick off and expire. But your final score, Wheaton 67, Elmhurst 52. The Thunder are 14-3 on the season and 5-2 in the CCIW, while Elmhurst drops to 9-9 and 3-4 in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. So the first go-round through the CCIW has come to a close. The Blue Jays are still in the middle of a tight race. They're going to need to pick up some victories on the road. Elmhurst in the second half of the season has 4 games away from R.A. Fagenal Hall, as the Blue Jays are 3-4 in the conference following the matchup here today. Some final numbers for you in the contest for Wheaton. Leading scorer, Brooke Olson, 19, Ellie Zeller, 18. The 18 for Zeller came off of the bench. For Elmhurst, leading the way was Karen Sinnett with 15, but only 3 of those came in the second half. Fiona McMahon with another double-double, 11 points and 11 rebounds. Teams meeting at center court. Wheaton shoots 44% in the contest. The Thunder turn it on in the second half and out-rebound Elmhurst by 7 as Wheaton picks up the victory on the road here today. So with that, I will say so long. 67-52 is the final score. Wheaton with the victory for our entire production crew, Director Glenn Liljeberg and producer Jeannie Urich. I'm Tim Calderwood. Have a good one.
Hi, I'm John Quigley, President and CEO of the Elmhurst Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In these challenging economic times, it's imperative that our residents and businesses band together to not only shop Elmhurst, but buy Elmhurst whenever possible. We have great stores in our city center, Spring Road, Butterfield Road, York and Villette Streets, St. Charles and Route 83, North Avenue and Lake Street, along North York and even Grand Avenue. I ask for your help. Let's keep our tax dollars in Elmhurst.